Hello Creepypasta viewing viewer! No doubt you found this video while watching through my playlist of Creepypasta. This video is here to answer some of the many questions that you guys tend to ask me in an easy to find video so that I don't get it asked 100 different times by 100 different people who didn't see me answering it in the comments. Let's get started. You said there are no screamers, but you put one in disabled. No, I didn't. At roughly 9 minutes in the disabled video, my first creepypasta reading, I faded in a picture that the author of the story wrote to go along with that part of it. There was no loud noise, no scream, nothing. Just my voice and the music in the background with no volume change. I didn't even hard cut to the picture, I faded to it. After reading comments about people being scared and accusing it of being a screamer, even though it isn't, I eventually got fed up with it and put in a very long annotation before the picture fading in to let people know that it would happen. However, since people are conditioned to turn off annotations at the start of the video, they don't see the warning. People are kind of assholes that way. You should write a creepypasta. To write a proper story requires a lot of time, effort, and talent. I have very little time when I'm not working on this show or streaming, and I don't want to write a creepypasta. If I were to really want to, and put a lot of time and effort into it, I'm sure I could come up with something average, but I'm just not interested in writing a creepypasta. I have my own things that I do. Hell, look at the rest of my channel outside of just creepypasta. There's no lack of content. Creepypasta is just this tiny weekly show that I do on the side. I've been doing a video a day for over 2 years and co-hosting a weekly charity stream. I'm a busy guy. I wrote a creepypasta. Where can I upload it for you to read it? I'm glad you asked. You can post it in the creepypasta section over on my personal forum. I'll include a link to both the forum and the creepypasta section in the description below. I'd love to see you sign up and stay active with the community. Disabled is a continuation of Lost Silver, / Lost Silver is a continuation of Disabled. Short answer, no. They're completely unrelated stories. Disabled simply has a small reference to it. Long answer, no, you idiot, why the hell would you even think of that? Just because there's a reference? The stories don't fit together at all. Hell, the gender of the main character would have to change between the two. Do people put no thought into this? Where are you from? / What is your accent? My accent is this awful combination of Canadian dandy and Southern Ontario hick. You see, I grew up for the first 10 years of my life in a very small hick town, then another 5 in a suburbia, and I've spent the last 5 downtown in an industrial city. My accent is all over the place. I try and suppress it as much as I can for voiceovers, but every once in a while it comes out and I either slur something horribly, or punctuate the hell out of something without even noticing it. You should be a teacher! No, I shouldn't. Teachers need to be charismatic and careful about what they say. I've always been extremely brutally honest, to the point that it often pisses people off. I would not make a very good teacher. Stefano, lol PewDiePie reference. No. Just because there was a man named Stefano in a story, doesn't mean it's a PewDiePie reference. Fuck off. Why do you always pronounce color as color? As you've noticed, I pronounce everything exactly how it should be pronounced, not necessarily how it was intended. If the author didn't proofread the story, and it had a typo because of this, I'll pronounce their typo. In the case of a word like color, I pronounce it as color when they type it without a U, because they're typing it wrong. Now, before you pause the video and yell at me, it's not wrong, it's American English. Like so many have in the past, hear me out, as I have 2 different reasons why it must be taken as color if it doesn't have a U. Reason number 1. It originated as a typo. You see, when the settlers who eventually claimed independence and formed the United States of America actually founded the USA, they didn't all know how to read and write properly, if at all. It was a time period when education was a lot more rare and expensive, and the United States was mostly founded by low-class working people with little education and money, and middle-class slave owners who often had a small degree of formal education. This meant that much more back then than now, people would sound it out if they didn't know a word. Since you don't pronounce the U in words like color and honor, they'd leave it out without knowing it was there in the first place. I don't blame the settlers for not knowing this. It's not their fault they weren't very well educated, and I don't blame the people who grew up in the United States for thinking that's just how the word is spelled. That's how they were taught. However, that doesn't make it any more correct just because they put down their typos in a dictionary. The second reason still applies even if you're still of the stance that it doesn't matter where it came from, what matters is the way they use it now. Under the basic rules of English that is taught in both American schools as well as all others, the word color should be pronounced as color when the U is removed. Now, we all learned this in grade 3 or 4, so I don't blame you if you don't remember, it was a long time ago. Let me give you a refresher lesson. Our example word is honor. Why does honor have a U in it? Well, it has a U not to pronounce, but to signify that both O's in honor are not pronounced the same. Much like the E rule, the unpronounced U changes the sound of a previous letter. In this case, it makes the letter 2 letters before it change sound. It changes from an O noise to an U noise. That's the reason why the word is pronounced honor and not honor. The same rule is why color is pronounced how it is. Without the U, it would be 2 O noises, color. With the U changing the first O, it becomes color, color. So there you go, the most in-depth explanation as to why it is a typo, and even if you don't consider it one, if it has no U, it's still color. I hope this put the whole stupid thing to rest. You sound like Captain Sparkles! After the billionth comment saying this, I looked him up. Not only do I sound nothing like him, but I linked him to 7 friends and all of them said I sound nothing alike. Sorry guys, I have no idea what you're talking about. Have you done this story? Check the description of any creepypasta I've done and click the link to the playlist. Do you see the name of the creepypasta you're talking about on that list? No? Then I didn't do it. Yes? Then I did it. Click it. Please don't ask me questions that you could find out the answer to in less than a minute on your own. In Muted Emerald, you said silver instead of sapphire once. I know. I've addressed this in the comments. Please check the comments to make sure 10 people haven't already posted it, and that I haven't already responded to it before you post. Can I have a link to the original story? The source link is in the description of every creepypasta I read. Seriously, do people just not read the description? You said that Chuck Norris is an asshole in a comment on YouTube and this angers me. Don't make me unsubscribe. Chuck Norris is a racist, sexist, and homophobic asshole. If you're seriously going to defend the horrible things he has said, just because of that stupid meme, leave. Threatening to unsubscribe just means I wouldn't want you here in the first place. You didn't like this story? Why don't you make something better? If you're trying to say that I have no experience and shouldn't judge, I have 2 things to say to you. First, that back in high school I took the grade 12 university-level English course. Not because I failed the first time, but because I had so much fun with the course and wanted the opportunity to take it again with a new teacher. Even then, you don't need to be a master chef to know when your meal is shit. I have enough experience reading stories to know what works, and enough knowledge into writing to know why it works. Your argument doesn't work. That's it for this Q&A video. If you guys enjoyed my creepypasta readings and haven't checked out any of my other videos yet, give it a shot. Right now I'm doing a Let's Play of Disciples 2 Gold every weekday, and on Sundays I'm mostly doing my Flash Trash series, and my dramatic readings of My Immortal. My Immortal will probably be right up your alley if you're watching creepypasta readings. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.